If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Peace.
It's your boy Minute. Welcome to the Vendetta Army.
What is happening, people? It's your boy, Big Will, Minute. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Here's your review of AEW Dynamite. I know I said last week that the Wednesday Night Wars was over, but I'm big enough to admit it. NXT put on a good show. You can watch the beginning and you can watch the end if you want to watch NXT. The beginning is always good. This week it was I could not remember their damn names for the life of me. Rhea Ripley versus seriously, what the hell are they damn names? Bianca Belair. Winner gets a shot, I believe, at Shayna Baszler. I believe. And it was a good match, and Rhea Ripley won. With some interference by EO. And then, okay, now this is just getting sad. Really. Johnny Gargano's girl came down and made it a fair fight. And in the end was bruh. What was the last match? Was that the triple threat? Yeah, it was the triple threat with Roderick Strong going against Keith Lee, and then I can't think of Gajic, whatever. You can really tell my excitement level when it comes to NXT. His name is, but all in all, what ended up happening was Undisputed Era, cleared the ring. Did they mess? They always do. Tommaso Ciampa came out, faced them down, 4-on-1. He called for backup. Here comes Johnny Gargano, 4-on-2. More backup. Here comes Finn Balor, 4-on-3. Next thing you know, they about to have them a knockout, drag out. Finn Balor Pele kick to Gargano. Undisputed Era jump, Ciampa. Finn Balor destroyed Gargano on the outside of the ring. Finn Balor heel turn with a tease to maybe the Undisputed Era or him and Adam Cole. Both were in a Bullet Club, not at the same time, but there's that tie-in. I don't know. It was good. Crowd went crazy. But the NXT crowd loves Full Sail. They love Finn Balor anyway, so Finn Balor could throw a baby out of the ring and they were cheering. So it's not too surprising there. But hey, like I said, if you want to watch NXT, you're trying to decide what you want to do for the wars, because AEW been killing NXT, and I do believe they didn't kill them tonight. This wasn't AEW's best show tonight. I mean, all in all, it was a good show, but there were flaws tonight. But NXT came with it tonight, and they did have they had a bro match. You know what I'm saying? He always good. I think there was a Gallagher match was in there, and because I was flicking, but not flicking as much because I was more concentrated on AEW. But of course, AEW stops right on time, and WWE NXT always goes over, so you can always catch the end of NXT once AEW's over. And like I said, that's normally their best segment anyway, is the end, which what I described to you happened after they went overtime. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch AEW. I'm going to check out what the first match is and kind of flick back and forth between the first match. Because both first matches are always good, so you got to kind of pick and choose what you want to do. But NXT's first match is going to always be good, and then their last match is going to always be good. But the thing about AEW, the filler in between AEW is just as good. The filler on NXT is horrible. They maybe have one good match in their filler between the first and last match. AEW, you don't really know them, so therefore you watching. Well, me anyway, because you don't really know these guys, so you're watching that. They do have some turds in there too, that eventually you'll be like, okay, I don't want to watch them, and you'll flick. But with me, as I'm getting to learn them, I'm watching everything. And there's certain ones, but like, okay, yeah, and like AEW's women division, I maybe start flicking a women's division till they get some more viable stars over there. So you can pick and choose. Evidently, you'll probably end up watching half and half. But yeah, Finn Balor. So that's my little take on what happened on NXT. Now we get to AEW. Sorry about the phone. We get to AEW. The very first match they started out, they wanted to get this tag team tournament out of the way. You know, there's only 4 teams left. That both those matches was back to back. They got them right out the way immediately. First match was the Lucha Bros versus Private Party. Now, let me get this out the way. Private Party got a lot of talent, a lot of potential. Been seeing a lot of people in my groups all over them because Black excellence or whatever. It's good to see 2 young brothers up and coming doing their thing. But I even put it on my Twitter. These dudes, they are spot wrestlers. When they doing their high spots and they flips, they are super comfortable. But everything else in between, they are green as shit. I saw a lot of mistakes, a lot of botches, a lot of look like choreograph where you can count 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, walking from position to position. The blocking of it was almost like you could, like a bad stuntman set up. I mean, that's why I don't know how they work on their house shows, but they need to like really clean up for TV, practice on their house shows and clean it up for TV because it looked. I mean, if the Lucha Bros wasn't so great, this match would have been a dumpster fire. But it was a good match too because me saying that make it sound like the match was just horrible. Like what they was doing just wasn't good. What they was doing was good because I enjoyed the mess out of their flips, their high spots, the things they was doing, athleticism, off the charts. Off the charts. They just so green when it comes to everything else. You could tell that they haven't been doing it very long. And maybe they have. I hope not. I hope they're not veterans on the indie scene because if that's so, man, y'all lazy. I don't want to sound like I'm down on them because I enjoy them. I mean, Young Bucks put them over to put them out the tournament, so they see something in them. Maybe they just not ready for the spotlight just yet. You know what I'm saying? That shine on them because they got the crowd, they over. People love their gimmick. You know what I'm saying? But you got to go out there and you got to perform. You can't go out there and do what y'all did. I mean, about 75% of the match was good, and that's not bad. Take that's still a passing grade, but it could have been great. If they wouldn't have had the mistakes they had, it would have been great. A lot of people are gonna tell you the match was great because there's a lot of their good stuff in it. But the stuff that was in it that was bad, the botches, the calling out spots, the looking uncomfortable, the looking lost kind of things that they were doing, the like not really selling like they should when your other person's on the outside of the ring. Little small things that come with experience was just horrible. Was straight up horrible. But like I said, those dudes got a lot of potential, and of course Lucha Bros won. Lucha Bros went over. The babyface's last rush out of victory. Phoenix ran the ropes and kicked Quinn in the head before joining his brother for a double stomp package power driver combo for the win. So double spike combo power driver would end up being a win for them. So the second match was 2 teams that I've been looking forward to seeing. SoCal United and the Dark Order. Now the Dark Order, I haven't seen them since I think it was Double or Nothing when I saw them come out with all the Minion dudes. So I was looking forward to seeing what these guys was about. You know what I'm saying? Was really looking forward to that. And SoCal United. I mean, I think his name is what's his name? Yeah, Kaz and Scorpio Sky. Man, you can tell these dudes, like unlike Private Party, you can tell these dudes got experience. Little sloppy too. That's mainly because these guys probably don't touch like they should. And the two totally different styles between these two teams, but they made up for it. Especially, you can tell that these guys are straight up real professionals because there was a point where Jericho and the Inner Circle came out, the crowd went ballistic, and they went up the little spot where I got my tickets. They all had tickets, and they went up to a skybox to sit and watch the rest of the show and kind of heckle. And the crowd was going ballistic. They was clearly not watching anything going on in the ring. But if you was watching what was going on in the ring, SoCal went off with some moves and some good wrestling to try to get the crowd looking like, hey, there's still a match going on. And normal people would have kind of lost it when the crowd loses interest like that. But they kept it together and kept a good match going. There was a lot of good stuff that happened in this match. Dark Order, they're kind of difficult to watch, kind of weird to watch, especially because the big guy really don't do anything. He just does big guy stuff. So, I mean, I guess I don't know that much about him. I was impressed, but I was more impressed with SoCal United. They did some amazing stuff. Just to run down what happened at the end, Grayson ran the shoulders of Uno and Sky and took down Kaz with a botched head scissors. He then drove over the turnbuckle and wiped out Kaz at ringside. Back inside, Uno scored a strong near fall on Sky. The heel set up for a fatality, but Sky escaped and Kaz dropped to Grayson with a springboard DDT. With Uno down at ringside after being sent into the post, the babyfaces flattened Grayson with a SoCal United ladder for the upset win. Upset win? No, it wasn't an upset because I guess the Dark Order had the first round bye. I didn't see why. I mean, I wasn't really that impressed with them. They're entertaining, and Grayson is a phenomenal athlete for a person of his stature. He's kind of a smaller, skinnier guy, but he's not really skinny. He's smaller stature, but he got some weight to him. I mean, a physique to him, just not thickness. But he can go. He got some they're real unique style. And I just don't think it clashed too well with SoCal United because those guys are straight up athletes. They were doing things that I was like, wow, I really want to watch them. So that sets up the finals between the Lucha Bros and SoCal United, which is we all should have saw coming because, last week the Lucha Bros came down and took out Christopher Daniels, the third member of SoCal United. And Scorpio Sky had to wrestle in tennis shoes and jeans. So that sets up them to get their get back. So, but yeah, the whole time, they kept putting the crowd on Jericho and them. They up there eating popcorn, drinking the bubbly, and all that stuff. So that was cool. That was a nice little heel move that was pulling there. Really, really good. Next, we got Kenny Omega versus Joey Janella. Now, this dude, Joey Janella, he's been killing it on AEW Dark. If you're not watching AEW Dark, I believe it's on Tuesdays on YouTube. You need to be checking it out because I think AEW, if you go watch it live, I do believe it's like a 3.5 hour show. They only show like 2 hours of it on actually TV. Everything else is on AEW Dark, and those matches are great. Like Joey Janela's last two matches, he had a match against Moxley and a match against Kenny Omega, and both of them were pretty much 4-star matches. They're unsanctioned matches, so that's why AEW goes back to the old school things as far as rules. Unsanctioned means that you can no rules. You can, they were pretty much hardcore matches, thumbtacks, chairs, barbed wire. Him and Moxley went back to his old roots, and they tore it down. They did the same thing with Omega, chairs, tables. These guys, it was like old school ECW. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's what Janela is known for. But this was the actual sanctioned match. Because like I said, AEW puts the win-losses on there. So this was a sanctioned match, so it wasn't going to be none of that. So we wanted to see, okay, I know this dude can go hardcore-wise, but how can he go in a straight-up match? Especially with Kenny Omega, because Kenny Omega is the face of AEW. He comes out And it's like the crowd loses their mind. He has the crowd by the palm of his hand. He could do no wrong in this company right now. It's only a matter of time. You got to put the belt on him. I know Cody's the one going after the belt, but eventually you got to put that belt on Omega because he is super, super over. If they're going to put him on third, like for a singles match against Janella, the person that's like underground, really, and he still kills the show like that, amazing. I'll read this. They said Kenny and Joey, they tore the house down at AEW Dark 2 weeks ago. Like I said, it was brutal. Omega worked a wrist lock, dueling chants from Pittsburgh faithful. Scotto to the floor, wiped out Janella. Best bout machine to maintain early control of the contest. Another thing, Janella countered another V trigger with a rolling German suplex. Omega answered with a big knee to the face. The bad boy obliterated him with a fisherman buster. A running lariat turned Omega inside out, but the cleaner was still shot his shoulders off the mat to avoid defeat. With Omega prone on the apron, Janella tried a flipping senton. Omega rolled out of the way, and his opponent crashed spine first onto the hardest part of the ring. Back inside, Omega pulled away Janella with a one-winged angle for a hard-fought win. Like I said, Kenny Omega's moveset is ridiculous. Especially to be athletic as he is, because he's thick too, and he can still move around like that. The things he do, you expect him to be the size of the Young Bucks, but he's a thick dude, and he moves amazing. That dude, superstar. That's a good thing that they was able to keep him on board with them, because the E was looking at him. He decided to go with his boys. I mean, why not? He has an executive role in the company too, and he get to be a big star. Win-win situation. And then next thing we have, of course, during this whole time, Jericho and them in the inner circle was still up in the skybox. Camera keeps putting it on him, but then Cody comes out to speak, and I love Cody's entrance. He kind of comes up out of the ground with his suit on, with the lights on him. He gets the pyro and the smoke and the fireworks, the fire and everything. It's his company. He's the man. Crowd goes crazy for him. He comes to the ring because he has a major announcement to do. But before he can do his announcement, they got the little air guns, the inner circle in there. Every time Cody tries to speak, and Cody trying to get it back, whatever. But then Jericho gets the mic, and he starts chanting, "Boo, boo, boo." And Cody's like, you know what? I got this. He basically says, unlike the company that we came from, this ring right here is not a invisible wall. Like, I can come out of this ring and go up there and we can fight right now. He's basically saying that in WWE, when they do the heckle thing from the crowd to the skybox thing, unless it's part of the match, like you supposed to like ignore it, act like it's not. He said we ain't gonna do that here. If you gonna interrupt while I'm trying to do something, you a sanctioned wrestler, I'm a sanctioned wrestler. Let's handle business. So Cody come up there to go handle business. And Jericho like, whoa, what you doing? It's four of us, one of you. Stupid. Come up here, you want to, you're gonna get dealt with. Boom. Enter Dustin's music. Dustin come out, red dust. And say, oh, okay, it's 4-on-2. What you gonna do? It's 4-on-2. And enter Maxwell's music. And then Jericho, what, I'm supposed to be scared of a man with a scarf? Who wears a scarf anyway? Excellent. Jericho is golden. He old and he shouldn't be the champion too much longer, but he is golden on the mic for AEW because everybody knows that was Jericho's gimmick, was the scarf. I like how he's no selling it when it was his idea. They didn't make him do that gimmick. The simple fact that he can poke fun at it now because somebody else is doing it is classic golden. But he's like, okay, 4-on-3. We got this. Still come on. Enter DDP's music. Self high five. Bang. So it's 4-on-4. Now if you notice, this sounded a little similar to what happened at the end of NXT. I don't know if they. Sometimes the things that between these two shows, that they be doing makes me think that either they working together or they seriously somebody is sharing the scripts. Because a lot of times, a lot of times the women's matches used to be on at the same time. Similar matches are going on at the same time, and then this angle was pretty much the same thing except 4-on-4 and 4-on-3 with a heel turn from a fan favorite. That's pretty much the only difference, and aside for it being the skybox, but it was like a faction of four calling out the babyface faction who comes out by himself and then eventually brings more people to join him. NXT only did three. I was like, if they'd have did four, I'd be like, okay, this is way too much like AEW. But then they swerved it with the Finn Balor turn. But anyway, they go up and the heels, Inner Circle, are like, nah, okay, it's 4-on-4. We're going to lock ourselves inside the skybox. Ha ha ha, you can't get us. Maxwell takes his scarf, wraps it around Cody's hand. I'm like, dude, is he about to punch? Pow! He punches the glass. And they go in, they start fighting, they brawl, they go out to the concession area. Cody dips Jericho's face in the little hot dog dip thing, and Dustin and some other people fight, and a couple fans I think either get punched or got a little too close. So then they go to commercial, and then the picture the whole time during the picture they showing the Inner Circle still kind of like celebrating because we got tickets. We got tickets. We can charge you for da-da-da-da. Classic little heel thing they were doing. But that's one thing about AEW. They do a lot of commercials. I mean, I guess they got to get that sponsorship up. They are a new company. Good segment, though. Good segment. Jericho's golden. He is golden. Next, you get the Young Bucks versus the Best Friends. Young Bucks and Best Friends. And then Orange Cassidy. Oh, my God. That dude, he straight up interrupted the Young Bucks entrance while they doing they fusion pose thing that they do, and then after they get introduced, and he steps in between them and does the little calf kicks. He's so not with his hands in his pockets, nonchalant, he ends up getting thrown out the ring and the match starts. It was a good match, man. Young Bucks, man, and Best Friends, man. They put on a good. I mean, I don't know much about the Best Friends. I know they got eliminated in the first round of the tournament. But good match, man. You guys work well together, man. You can tell these guys have worked before. It was a good, entertaining match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the Young Bucks, man, like I said, they are probably the best tag team in the world. Best tag team in the world. Go over the end of this. Taylor caught a charging Matt with a belly-to-belly overhead, sending him into his brother, Nick, who was seated in the corner. A Falcon Arrow followed, and he scaled the ropes. Matt met Taylor up top, but Trent rushed the ropes and sent Matt off the top with a releasing German suplex. Cassidy delivered a crossbody from the top rope, wiping out the Bucks on the floor. Back in, the Best Friends continued their onslaught and looked for a doomsday device. Matt landed on his feet, though, wiping out any and everyone around him. More bang for your buck finished off Taylor as the Bucks picked up a much-needed victory ahead of a match with Santana and Ortiz at full gear. Yeah, because at the end of the match, they grabbed the mic and accepted LAX's challenge. So, looking forward to that match. But I mean, great match, man. Great match. I mean, Best Friends and Young Bucks put on a good show. I wish I saw that live. I bet it was amazing to see live. And I mean, it went through the commercial break and they were still handling business. I mean, it was great. I love how AEW matches are not short. They give everybody an adequate amount of time, which is good. I mean, everybody pretty much gets a commercial break, if not two. Next, we got Dr. Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter's pretty much like a thick Paige. She's from England. She's new. She's like 24. A lot of upside to her. Real nasty. She tried to snatch somebody's poster. A fan, like a real, because they be having plants in the crowd. But this wasn't a plant. A fan was like, hey, you ain't snatching my, because this Pittsburgh is Britt Baker's hometown. She came out in Pittsburgh themed gear, had a Pittsburgh mascot. Huge pop. Hometown. And it was okay. It was okay match. I mean, like I said, that's the only thing that's kind of a downside for me, like that I may start flicking over, is the women's division. And I'm not that type of guy that's like no selling the women. I'm just not that interested in the women's division right now for AEW. I mean, the Jamie chick, she had. I mean, I like what she was doing, but the people that they're supposed to be their faces don't impress me. The world champion, she's weighs 85 pounds. She don't impress me. I can't suspend my disbelief about anything she does. And Britt Baker really doesn't impress me. The hater chick, I was impressed by her, but they're not gonna push her. She just gonna take L's. So, I mean, I'll just go over what happened at the end of this one. Hater gouged the eyes of her opponent and climbed the ropes, but Baker brought her crashing to the mat. The doctor tried for a discus clothesline, but Hater countered into a range for a count of two. Baker recovered and delivered her trademark twisting neckbreaker. The Brit managed to kick out, though. Baker applied a variation of the Rings of Saturn and added a mandible claw, a move the commentary team referred to as the lockjaw for the submission win. She tried to do that last week, and she couldn't do it. So that's what I mean, because she's a dentist, lockjaw, and it's pretty much the Rings of Saturn. Then puts like a mandible claw thing. She kind of takes her hand, I don't know how it's supposed to hurt. And then backstage, you know, what's her name? Jamie was backstage about to give an interview about her loss, and she was still kind of selling her mouth hurting. And then Brandy came out of nowhere and like punches her, and then just kind of points at the commentator lady doing this, and that was it. So, because Brandy supposed to be involved in the women's division, so I guess maybe she about to get involved, but she gonna be heel, I guess. I mean, she didn't say anything. That's all she did. I was like, okay. And then the main event was John Moxley versus Pac. Man, this match. And what's the best thing about this match? I mean, we all know these guys can go. They delivered. They did some amazing stuff. I mean, Pac did a freaking Falcon Arrow off the top rope. Moxley did some crazy stuff. I mean, they was all over this ring and they had 20-minute time limit. All they matches 20-minute time limit, and this was 20-minute time limit, and they were like counting down how much time was left, and you was getting that sense of urgency of them trying to get all that. I mean, it was move after move after move after move after move after move, because they trying to hurry up and get this win before the time go out. And they just go, I mean, they do one move, 10 minutes, and no like selling in between. They're going right, oh, next move, boom, next move, boom. They trying to hurry up. You can see it in their face. They're like, urgency, 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 because they trying to get this win. Man, time limit goes out and it ends up being a draw. Oh, it was great because it was down to the last second, like 3, 2, because Moxley hit the dirty deeds. Boom, 3, 2. And he gets his shoulder up, and then the time limit out, and then he boom, dirty deeds the referee. It looks at the camera. Last thing you see before it goes off the air. Time limit my ass. That's what Moxley said. Man, let me go through this because that was great. I go through like the last 2 paragraphs. Moxley scored a near fall back inside the square circle. A running knee to the side of the head owned head down Pac again, but the basher kicked out of 2. A cloverleaf followed as Justin Roberts counted down remaining television time. Urgency setting in, a wobbly Moxley made his way to the ropes. Pac cut him off and scored a near fall of his own, moments later off a top rope driver. He climbed the ropes from the black arrow, but Moxley moved. He spilled to the floor where Pac delivered a 450 splash from the apron to his opponent. Yeah, he stood on the outside of the ring while Moxley was down on the ground, did a 450 off that little skinny part of the apron. Pac brought his A game this match. A game. The E is stupid for letting him go. Pac missed the black arrow and Moxley tried for a pinfall. With 30 seconds left, Moxley delivered a, what are they calling it? Paradigm shift. That's what they're calling the Dirty D's, paradigm shift. But was unable to pick up the win as television time expired. Justin Roberts announced the results as a draw. Moxley responded in frustration, where a paradigm shift to the official. And as he said, time limit my ass. That's the last words he said. So, all in all, another great show by AEW. Like I said, I love how they give all these people time. Again, just the women's division. To me, that's the only thing lacking. They need stars. I'm not saying Brandy's a star, but maybe she can bring some urgency to it. Because, I mean, I guess they trying to push Britt, even though she's not the champ. And the champ wasn't even on the show tonight. But we'll see. I love the show. Loving it. I look forward to Wednesdays. Like I said, I'm AEW. I'll watch it before I watch anything else. I still check on NXT. And NXT did alright. They did alright tonight. They had a nice little beginning and end and a decent middle. Not enough to make me miss a segment on AEW. But I probably will start, because I'm starting to realize there's certain people that I don't want to watch on AEW, especially when there's an alternative to watch. You got to start picking your moments to utilize, because I'm not against the E. I'm going to watch NXT because I was an NXT guy. If NXT was on a different night, if they was like on Tuesday instead of trying to go head to head on USA, I watched the whole NXT show. But they going head to head with AEW, and I like AEW more, so I'm gonna watch AEW priority. Even though I could watch NXT and then watch the encore of AEW, but I don't want to. I don't want to, because I'll be forced to flick, and that I'd rather miss NXT. Sorry. The E is like still a fan. Always going to be a fan. It is frustrating me right now. I have tickets to Friday's SmackDown here in Kansas City, and I'm not all that excited about it. I mean, I'm excited to go because live shows are just amazing. But, I mean, it'll probably be better with me being there than it would, because I haven't watched a single SmackDown since it's been on Fox. Not here at the house. I haven't watched it. This will be my first legit Friday night SmackDown. It'll be the one that I'm going to. That could tell you anything. But I digress. Make sure you hit me on my social media. Minute Brewer, Minute 316, William Minute Brewer, Big Brew 316. Hook your boy up. Make sure you go to that corner over there. Share right above Cody, flipping everybody off. Like and share the video. Hit the notification bell. All the Bruce Blitz videos are back up. Free of being taken down. Everybody knows that story. Go ahead and get traction on those. Hit those comments up so we can get all that conversation going that we lost. And comment on here. And that about do it. See you guys next week for the Wednesday Night Wars. I'm not gonna say they back, but it's not over. Not just yet. Another win for AEW though. Another win. Peace, air grease, and everything like that. Deuces.